So the NBA just announced that they are thinking about implementing a new rule change when it comes to free throws, and they are going to test this rule change out in the Summer League this year. So if you're a fan of Summer League, get ready. Now, when this report dropped, I'm sure a lot of you were very similar to me, where you probably looked at it, you said, okay, I don't really care, and you went on about your day. And because when it comes to rule changes in the NBA, it seems like we have at least one or two every single year, and then when you actually get to watching the games, you don't notice anything different. You know, just a couple years ago, the NBA said they're implementing rule changes to crack down on flopping and foul baiting, and newsflash NBA, flopping and foul baiting is at an all-time high. So I don't know what you were talking about. And so when seeing this report, I had a similar mindset of like, okay, I'm not really going to notice a difference probably, so who cares? But as I started to look farther into, this proposed rule change and what is going to happen, this is a pretty huge change if it becomes real in the NBA. And if this test is successful and this rule change becomes a real thing, it is going to completely warp a core part of the game of basketball that we've known and we've watched in the NBA for almost 80 years now, and is going to have some pretty interesting effects on the league as a whole.
And it's going to involve free throws that will cut the number in half, but may add what they're worth.
This Alexander pulls back. Mobley stays in front of him. Boy, that's some good. Oh, they call him.
Basically, they're looking to cut time out of the game.
Yes.
They think it'll shave between 6 and 8 minutes out of the game.
Right arm up. So is that a natural shooting motion? No. But he was just trying to bait him in the foul. Once he gets...
You miss it, you get nothing. No chance to get any of the three. So very interesting, I think.
But very quickly, before we get into the rest of this video, if you guys enjoy this type of content, all things NBA, all things hoops, please make sure to hit that like button on this video. And if you guys want to stick around, join my community, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you. I'm trying to build a community of people who just love to talk basketball. So if that sounds like you, make sure to hit subscribe. But with all that out of the way, let's talk hoops. So what the HE double hockey stick is this rule change that is going to drastically change a core part of basketball that we've watched for 80 years now? Well, this change that the NBA is thinking about implementing is whether you get fouled on a two-pointer or a three-pointer, you only shoot one free throw. Now, if you think that sounds crazy, well, actually this rule has been in place in the G League since 2019. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. I just exposed you for being an absolute NBA casual and not watching the G League. And so the fact that this rule change has been in place since 2019 in an NBA affiliate league and hasn't been, reverted back means that, NBA management really likes this rule change. And so it could be in serious contention to make it to the real NBA, if everything goes good in this year's Summer League. So here is the rule laid out in 3 sentences. Any foul that would normally send you to the line will get you 1 free throw instead of 2 or 3. That free throw is worth the same amount of points that you would have shot for. And lastly, in the final 2 minutes of the game and whatever overtime might happen, free throws get reverted back to how they used to be, traditional free throws. So why is the NBA thinking about implementing this rule? Well, the main reason that they gave was better game flow. You're not sitting there watching a guy slowly, casually walk up to the line, do his routine, shoot 2 free throws, and then we're going. No, it's get to the line, 1 free throw, we're live. And honestly, I'm all for that. I've said on record on multiple videos, one of the worst experiences as a fan is when you have to watch games where refs just don't know how to swallow the whistle sometimes. And you get a game that, doesn't even go into overtime, and next thing you know, it's been going on for 3 hours and 30 minutes, and you're like, dude, I want to go to bed. And I experienced a ton of those games last year. I mean, last year, dude, fouls were off the charts. There were like multiple games I had to watch where you couldn't even go 20, 30 seconds without another foul being called and play stopping and everybody having to either take the ball out of bounds or watch a guy shoot free throws. And as a fan, like, no one wants to just watch dudes stand around and shoot free shots. Like, we want to see high quality, fast paced basketball. And when you have this system where refs are constantly calling fouls and play is stopping, you can't get into the game. Like, basketball has always been known, and a reason why I like basketball over a lot of sports is because of how fast paced it is. You know, things are constantly happening. It's easy to stay locked in on an entire game as opposed to, you know, baseball or football that are a lot more slower paced. But when you have the issue where refs just cannot stop calling fouls every 30 seconds, every possession or two, well, all of a sudden it completely takes away that key aspect of basketball that makes it so popular for so many people. Basketball is a momentum sport. You know, momentum plays a huge role in determining, you know, what team pulls ahead or what team comes back. And when you have a system where refs are constantly stopping play every 20 to 30 seconds, no momentum can be gained or lost because you can't go more than a minute without, you know, dudes just standing around waiting to resume play. And so when it comes to that, I am in full agreement that the NBA needs to make some sort of change to fix this issue. But this rule could also have some very interesting ripple effects when it comes to its implementation. This rule basically punishes guys who are bad free throw shooters while also really rewarding guys who are good to great free throw shooters. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, on the NBA discussion subreddit, someone made a great post laying out this rule change. A guy who is way smarter than I am and understands statistics way more than I do laid out a great post getting in depth on how exactly this is going to affect the league. I'll make sure to link that post in the video description, but I'm going to summarize it and try to keep the math as light as possible for all you people that don't like math. So right now, with the current free throw system, the percent chance that a guy is walking away going 0 for 2 or getting 0 points from that free throw trip is about 5%. But with this new rule change, all of a sudden that percent chance that they're going to the line and coming away with 0 points jumps up to 25%. One of your players goes hard to the rim and gets fouled and then goes to the line and misses the one shot. All of a sudden you come away with 0 points. That's a glorified turnover right there. And so you can see already how this rule is going to really punish bad free throw shooters and turn them from a possible liability all the way to a full-scale liability if they cannot get their free throw shooting, you know, in check. But then on the other side, if you are an elite free throw shooter, you shoot an amazing percentage, this rule is amazing for you. Think about Steph Curry, who for his whole career has been a 90+% free throw shooter, and he gets fouled on a three-pointer. Instead of having to make 3 individual free throws, he just gets to go up and shoot one, and he gets 3 points right there. An uncontested 15-footer with everybody just watching you, and you make it and you get 3 free points. And so I think a strategy that we're going to see make a return if this rule gets implemented is the hack-a-shack. Because think about it. Right now, if you foul a bad free throw shooter like Mitchell Robinson, he's the first person who popped into my head. If you foul Mitchell Robinson, yeah, it's annoying, but it's manageable. He goes to the line, he maybe splits a pair, he gets 1 point out of the possession, and you go back on defense. But now with this new rule, if he goes to the line, he gets 1 shot. So if he's shooting, sub 50% from the free throw line, well, that's a more than likely chance that you're going to be coming back down on defense with no points scored. And all of a sudden, it turns an annoying but manageable situation into one where you are completely exposing a liability on your team. The Reddit post laid out that right now in the NBA, you need to shoot at least 58% from the free throw line to be looked at as a positive asset on offense still. But now, if this new rule gets implemented, that minimum percentage that you have to shoot jumps all the way up to 76%. That's like close to league average. And so if you are not at least a league average free throw shooter, you're a negative asset when it comes to offense and it comes to the free throw line. That is extremely punishing. Now, so far in this video, I feel like I've talked pretty positive and in favor of this rule change, but there is one major reason why this rule change could be really bad for the league. And it comes down to how this changes defense and how defense is played. Because right now, free throws are punishing, but they're not that punishing when you're on defense. But all of a sudden, if you have a player on offense that's highly skilled and a great free throw shooter, defenses can't really play aggressive against the guy, or as aggressive as they used to be able to, because all of a sudden you foul a guy, you send him to the line, he only has to shoot one free throw, and if he's a good free throw shooter, he's probably going to make the free throw and they're going to get 2 points or they're going to get 3 points. And so again, now all of a sudden we are seeing more rules be implemented to benefit the offensive player and punish the defensive player. And that is one of the biggest issues in the NBA right now, is the offensive player gets so many built-in tools and fouls and rules to allow him to have the advantage on the defensive player. And guys who play hard defense and play, in your face, tough, gritty basketball, more times than not are going to be at a disadvantage on every single possession, just because of how many built-in rules the offensive player has. Even just last year, they implemented the high five rule on the three-point line, where now, even if you don't make any contact to the shooter's body on a three-pointer, and you even touch their hand that they shot with, that's a foul, and they're going to the line. That's crazy. You can't even touch guys on defense anymore. So this is now probably just adding another rule where you can't play as hard of defense, or you don't want to, because sending a guy to the line is much more punishing for the defensive team than it used to be. And so when you think about it like that, all of a sudden I am really not in favor of this rule, because, call me old school, call me an unk, I miss when the NBA used to have super tough, gritty defense, and you just can't get away with that anymore. The refs call too many fouls. They call too many fouls in favor of the offensive player, and so now you're basically creating a system where guys don't want to play hard defense because they're even more terrified of getting a foul called on them and sending guys to the line. And it's fun to watch elite good offense, but it's also fun every now and then to watch a guy, play lockdown defense and stifle the offensive player. But in the NBA, you really, don't have a lot of opportunity to do that anymore. But with all that being said, I am probably still in favor of this rule being implemented, because I think, the flow of the game is one of the biggest problems that we have in the league right now. And this is a very good rule to make the game not be so start, stop, start, stop. But, and this is a huge caveat, if this rule gets implemented, I think the NBA needs to implement more rules to give the defensive player more leeway to play harder defense and eliminate a lot of the ticky-tack, soft calls that they are calling in favor of the offense. They need to have built-in rules to let defenders defend more, because if they don't do that and they implement this rule, all of a sudden it's almost impossible to play defense in the NBA, like genuinely. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this rule is a great addition and should ultimately be brought into the full NBA? Or are you guys sitting there like, dude, what is this guy yapping about? Free throws have been the same for 80 years now. Why change something like this? This is a dumb idea. Drop it in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. And also, if you guys made it this far in the video, well, you made it to the end of the video, so congratulations and thank you. But you guys made it to the end of the video, so you obviously enjoyed it, so make sure to hit that like button on your way out. And if you guys want to take it a step further, join my community, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you. But That's really all I got for today, guys. So as always, peace and love.